Carousel's Mexican village at risk after an overnight fire investigators say was intentionally set. Forced to scale back service.
We need to be able to provide a place for these folks.
Leamington's homelessness hub closing the doors overnight due to a budget shortfall. And new owners, new vision.
I just think it's fantastic, and I can't wait to see exactly what they're going to do.
Reimagining the historic Windsor Stadium.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A major piece of Windsor's sports landscape is now under new ownership. Windsor Stadium has officially been sold, and tonight we're learning more about the person behind the deal. CTV's Bob Belichico spoke with the investor to find out what's next for this iconic venue. Bob.
Well, Stefanie, Windsor Stadium, a classic, a lot of memories. A little worn down right now, and sports fans aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but it will likely be torn down. And from the ashes, the phoenix that rises will be a facility that Rocket sports fans will likely embrace with a lot of enthusiasm. Anis Khan had the winning $2.5 million bid for Windsor Stadium, securing ownership of the historic facility. An avid squash enthusiast, Khan says his vision is to transform the site into a premier racket sports destination and adding a couple of other racket sports to the mix.
The intent was to make sure that we serve the community, have the three sports together under one roof.
In December of 2023, after 50 years, the Windsor Squash and Fitness Club closed its doors, leaving many with no place to play. Khan says after exploring other options around the city, Windsor Stadium made the most sense for a location.
I just think it's fantastic, and I can't wait to see exactly what they're going to do.
According to this design, a new 38,000 square foot building would replace the current grandstand and be home to not only squash, but pickleball and padel or paddle.
I love squash, but big fan of paddle. I think when people start to play it, it's going to catch on, and it's like really a fun sport.
The facility is going to have 6 to 8 pickleball courts, 4 to 5 squash courts, and 4 for padel, which Khan feels gives racket sports fans a perfect mix of games to play for all ages. The building will also have a gym and social area.
Now what we are thinking about is, because we don't need the 4.5 acres, we have proposed the city to buy 2.5 acres.
Khan says if the city is not interested in the parcel, he will turn the building around, laying it out east to west, so either the north side or south side of the property could be sold to someone else.
One could be for the housing, we don't know yet, or slash any other commercial use. At this point, we haven't decided anything, and whoever is the potential buyer, they may like to do anything they want.
It's certainly an exciting project, and to know that they're doing something brand new is going to be even better, and to know that there's an opportunity to potentially do some housing or reclaim part of the park. Again, all great opportunities, but it's just too soon to tell.
Khan says he'll begin applying for permits and tendering the work and hopes to have a shovel in the ground as soon as possible. He anticipates the facility being open sometime in 2027. Stefanie?
Exciting. Okay, Bob Belichico, thank you for this. In other news, Windsor police are releasing new details after a stabbing in a West End shopping plaza parking lot. Several police cruisers, including a K9 unit, were seen in the Food Basics parking lot at Huron Church and Tecumseh this afternoon, with part of the property taped off. A witness tells CTV News he saw 2 teenagers fighting. He says when he returned a short time later, one person was being taken away in an ambulance, while another was being placed in a police cruiser. Windsor police are calling the incident an assault and say more information is expected to be released. A fire believed to have been deliberately set in Windsor's Little Italy has left a popular carousel of the nation's destination waiting to see if it will open this weekend. Windsor police are investigating a fire at a commercial building on Erie Street East as suspicious. Investigators say they found 2 empty gas cans near the property, along with an accelerant inside the building, leading them to believe the fire was intentionally set. The fire happened in a building connected to Windsor Eats tonight's food hall. The owner says smoke made its way into their space, and they're now waiting to learn whether they'll be able to host the Mexican Village during Carousel of the Nations this weekend. Police are asking anyone with surveillance or dashcam video from the area Monday night to please come forward. Dark clouds rolling in this afternoon. Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather tonight. Gary.
Tonight, we can anticipate a little bit more of the same convective energy. We talk about showers and thunderstorms wrapped around this spin of low pressure working through the Great Lakes. A progression west to east, right sweep across the Lake Erie shores, Lake Huron shores, perhaps seeing the worst of it this hour and through to about 10 or 11 p.m. this evening. What it means for us, scattered showers, some areas not seeing much, some areas getting hit hard, gusty winds, and the winds could stick around and be quite gusty for tomorrow. Could we see another round in the next 24 hours? I'll answer that question and see where temperatures are headed for the rest of the week in just moments. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Stefanie?
A funding shortfall is forcing difficult choices at the Essex County Homelessness Hub. Officials are recommending cuts to overnight shelter space and reduced daytime hours. As CTV's Chris Campbell reports, the changes come as the hub faces a $140,000 funding gap.
It's a place for vulnerable residents to sleep, cool off, warm up, and connect with support services. But the Essex County Homelessness Hub is facing a $140,000 funding gap, and county officials are considering service reductions.
The money for homelessness, housing with supports comes from the province to the fund manager, who is the City of Windsor, and the recommendation is that we cut the hours.
Leamington Mayor and Essex County Warden Hilda McDonald says municipal budgets have long since been approved, but the loss of a $70,000 contribution, combined with rising security costs, has left County Council with difficult decisions. She says homelessness is no longer just an urban issue.
And there was somebody set up on the beach. Last week, there was someone set up in one of our parks. This is a problem across the province, across the country, and across the world.
The recommendation before County Council would see overnight shelter services suspended from July through August and daytime hours reduced during the summer months. The City of Windsor serves as the region's homelessness service manager. Mayor Drew Dilkin says the county knew the previous contribution was one-time funding and the city is working within a fixed budget.
We have a fixed pot of money. We didn't get an increase from the province or the federal government this year. We don't have a source of funding to make that permanent.
Dilkin says Windsor allocates funding where it can have the greatest impact and remains open to further discussions with its county partners.
This issue is a regional issue. We want to work with our county partners to have the maximum impact. And we look forward to having further conversation.
For McDonald, the concern extends beyond budgets. She worries reducing services sends the wrong message.
It sends the message that we, the collective, we don't care.
County Council is expected to debate the proposed service reductions at Wednesday night's meeting. In Leamington, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Two more councils debated development charges, and one of them has decided not to apply to an $8.8 billion government fund for a grant. Let's begin in Amherstburg.
This is what's running our country right now, with no real clear definitive whether we're going to be in the green or in the red. And with our debt load, I'm not testing the waters on this. There's no guarantees of anything here.
Council ultimately decided the funding risks putting added cost on the backs of taxpayers. Under the proposal, municipalities are required to cut development charges by 30 to 50% over the next 3 years to qualify for this grant. Officials say in Amherstburg that could have meant more than $3 million in lost revenue. Development charges, often worth thousands per new home, help fund critical infrastructure like roads and sewer systems. In exchange, governments would reimburse up to 90% of eligible project costs. But Mayor Michael Prue says the program feels designed for larger cities like Toronto and Mississauga, not smaller ones.
The development charges we do not get from the developers until the home is occupied. So we have to put the money in the bank or take it from the reserves or something, and then we have to ask the taxpayers to fund it up front in order to get it back later. It's just not a good idea.
All in favor? Opposed? And we have Deputy Mayor Shepley and Councillor Mady opposed.
That's a decision at Essex Town Council, where members approved an application to that development charge program. The town is submitting a list of projects which qualify for funding under the government's requirements. 2 members voted against the recommendation. Essex joins LaSalle, Kingsville, and Lakeshore in submitting an application. Municipalities will only cut development charges if they're selected for the program. And the City of Windsor will hold a special council meeting tomorrow morning to discuss this application. For people enjoying Windsor's trail system this summer, there's a warning about a hazardous invasive plant. The City of Windsor is launching another round of herbicide treatment to control wild parsnip along sections of the Ganacho Trail, Spring Garden Natural Area, and Titcombe Trail. Work is expected to begin June 22nd and continue through the end of July. Wild parsnip can cause painful burns and blistering when its sap comes into contact with skin exposed to sunlight. And officials say controlling the plant also helps protect native species and local habitats. From movies you can watch from a public pool to waterfront festivals, the City of Windsor is rolling out more than 50 free events and activities this summer and fall. The $500,000 Experience Windsor campaign is designed to give residents affordable reasons to stay local. CTV's Sanjay Maru has more.
You've heard of a drive-in movie, but what about a dive-in movie? Among more than 50 free events and activities planned through the city's new event series called Experience Windsor.
Special screenings at Adventure Bay and also at Lansbury Pool around some water-themed films like Jaws and Finding Nemo. That we think will be a lot of fun.
With inflation and fuel prices making travel more expensive, City Council approved spending up to $500,000 to give residents more reasons to stay local. The lineup includes waterfront festivals, free movies, roller skating nights, a pizza festival, and opportunities to swim, skate, curl, and golf at no cost.
We know people are going to be challenged because of the price of gas, because of the affordability challenge that we're all experiencing, to be able to get in the car and have a long road trip or to afford flights somewhere. It's about bringing people to special places in the City of Windsor.
The series has 3 streams. The Riverfront Summer Series features 4 large waterfront events. Staycation Activation brings programming to city facilities, and Neighborhood Nights will host 1 event in each of Windsor's 10 wards. Organizers say the goal is not to compete with existing summer events, but to complement them.
The Farmers Market, of course, is every Saturday morning, so we said let's do these free films on a Saturday while families are out and about. We'll have it right at 11 o'clock in the morning for the film, so some families have already been to Farmers Market or some are going after. So we wanted to time that to be synergistic. That's exactly it.
This $500,000 campaign has faced some community backlash, coming shortly after the Welcome Center Shelter's request for $192,000 to add 12 beds was sent back to administration for further review. But the mayor maintains this campaign is being funded through a tourism reserve, the municipal accommodation or MAT tax, which must be used for tourism purposes and is charged on hotel and short-term rental stays, not on property taxes. In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
And you can find much more on the more than 50 events happening around the city this fall and summer online at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Meanwhile, soccer fans are being invited to downtown Windsor for 2 days of FIFA World Cup celebrations. On Thursday and Friday, City Hall Square will host free watch parties featuring live matches on a giant screen, including Team Canada taking on Qatar Thursday evening. Organizers are also planning family-friendly activities, face painting, soccer skills stations, giveaways, and free food while supplies last, including 500 hot dogs each day. City officials expect thousands of fans to take part in what will be the city's first World Cup watch parties at the newly revamped City Hall Square. For some local students, summer just got a little more mobile. Thanks to a long-running effort by Unifor Local 444, dozens of refurbished bicycles are finding new homes, giving kids a chance to get outside and stay active.
Mr. Ferguson, our geography teacher, reached out to Local 444 and we found out about the program. We didn't even know about it, and I mean, just for the kids, I mean, look how excited they are to come out and get a bike today. It's really exciting.
What does it mean to you to get a bike? outside a lot, so I like exercise, so biking it's really important to me. Plus, I don't have a bike at home anymore. It kind of broke.
This is our over 20 years we've been doing this. Next year we'll have donated over 3,000 bikes. So we collect bikes in April, all through donations to the local. And then we have a pasta fundraiser, which is supported by Coolini's. And then with that money we raise, we buy parts. And over the course of the last 5-6 weeks, we've fixed all these 120 bikes up. And then we find a school that has kids that need bikes, and here we are. Yeah, cost of living is crazy. So bike prices went up, everything went up. So it's great we can give kids bikes. Some of these kids said they've never had a bike before.
Guns for hire still ahead on Windsor's news leader. What police are revealing behind a deadly spat of shootings and the community they are targeting.
And I said, well, what about the accident you were in? I said, what accident?
AI scams are cloning voices so real you can tell they're fake. You can't tell they're fake. Later, how criminals use a son's voice to trick a father into sending thousands of dollars.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Toronto police say young people are being recruited online and paid to carry out targeted attacks. Now investigators are warning of a growing criminal network that stretches beyond the six. CTV's Janice Goulding reports.
Gunfire at the U.S. consulate, bullets aimed at homes, businesses and religious institutions, all perpetrated, say Toronto police, by criminals for hire.
Through encrypted messaging apps, young people are hired to carry out attacks against various targets.
Gunmen from multiple cells and networks allegedly swapping weapons, including 2 police seized last week.
We have 21 different shooting incidents with the .45 caliber, 6 with the 9mm.
Police say the guns for hire videotaping the attacks they carry out, as evidenced in shootings at Jewish schools and synagogues.
To ensure that they're getting paid for what they've been sent out to do.
While police say they don't know who's paying the hired guns, the goal is clear.
To create a sense of fear in our communities, including in the Jewish community.
GTA law enforcement now working with the RCMP, the FBI, and international entities to pinpoint the bad actors.
Whether it be synagogues or consulates or churches or anywhere else, that obviously has a motive. And then to follow that up the chain, I mean, the possibility that there could be a foreign actor in this is deeply alarming.
The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs saying extremists at home and abroad are fueling hatred and violence, adding the perpetrators of these shootings and those directing these attacks on Canadian soil must be held accountable. This is a matter of safeguarding Canada's national security and our Canadian way of life. Safeguarding security, a dangerous task. ETF Constable Mark Pinizotto killed last week executing a search warrant.
The emergency task force are the highest trained police officers, quite frankly, in this country, that go into the most dangerous of circumstances. And clearly, this was an incredibly dangerous set of events that unfolded.
19-year-old Nicholas Bennett now charged with 15 offenses, including first-degree murder. 2 18-year-olds, Sheldon Tracy Stewart and Jayon Berger, facing various firearms offenses, while officers continue to hunt for 19-year-old Zara Jabi in relation to the consulate shooting. The investigations are ongoing. Janice Goulding, CTV News.
A CTV W5 investigation into switched suitcases at Toronto's Pearson Airport has netted another suspect, the alleged driver in a drug smuggling network. CTV's John Woodward now on the latest arrest.
It's shocking. It's a feeling that goes through your body that you cannot quite explain.
That's how Nadiria felt when she found out her 19-year-old daughter Jade wasn't coming home. Arrested and jailed by Hong Kong police in September, authorities found she had some 25 kilograms of cocaine in a suitcase she carried with her, and her family says she had no idea.
It took days, if not weeks, for her to really understood what had happened to her. because she did not know that she was being trafficked and she was being used as a drug mule.
Chats on Instagram showed Jade was applying for a job as a courier. She was reassured it was all legal. A W5 investigation tracked down 3 other Canadians in Hong Kong jails in similar situations, including a 21-year-old named Omar, and identified several recruiters in the Kitchener-Waterloo area for a drug trafficking network. Their boss, still unidentified, he just used a punctuation mark in chats, a dot. Now, Waterloo Regional Police say they've acted, arresting one man they say was a driver in the operation. Alexander Kwan appeared by video link in a Waterloo courtroom on Tuesday. He's charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking and possession for the purpose of exportation. His arrest, a development Nadiria believes adds credibility to Jade's story, as she urges Hong Kong to let her daughter go and for the Canadian government to push the case.
I believe that this drug cartel has taken enough from us, from this community. They've taken enough. So enough is enough.
As for those other recruiters the W5 identified, the Waterloo Regional Police say they are still investigating, meaning other arrests could be coming soon. John Woodward, CTV News.
A sharp nose and 4 paws helped stop a potential agricultural threat at Detroit Metro Airport. U.S. Customs and Border Protection say K9 Marley alerted officers to a suitcase carried by a traveler arriving from Ghana. A search uncovered numerous exotic pests hidden inside. Officials remind travelers to declare all food and agricultural items to help protect crops and our ecosystem. A hot mic moment at the G7 captured a casual exchange between Canada's Prime Minister and the U.S. President, joking, engaging in small talk, but also getting down to business. CTV's Mike Couture on the impromptu lunch chatter and what else happened on this busy first day in France.
As G7 leaders prepared for their working lunch, Prime Minister Mark Carney took advantage of the moment to talk trade with U.S. President Donald Trump. In an apparent reference to the amount of Chinese electric vehicles Canada agreed to let into the country in January, Carney conveyed to Trump how little he believes it would affect the North American market. The agreement with China would allow for the annual import of 49,000 Chinese-manufactured EVs into Canada. In exchange, China lowered tariffs on a number of Canadian products, including canola. Also in Evian, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and lead trade negotiator Janice Charette met with their American counterparts.
We talked about a number of other issues that the United States raises with us, but we also talked about issues that are important to Canadian workers and the Canadian economy.
Now, after securing the deal with Iran, Trump's focus shifted to Ukraine. Following a meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky on the margins of the G7 summit, Trump had this message for Vladimir Putin.
Russia should make a deal. Russia's lost tremendous amounts of people, and so has Ukraine.
Ukraine will win. It's just a question of time.
To help make that happen, Canada announced additional sanctions against 162 Russian individuals and entities targeting the Russian war machine. And President Zelensky feels a new sense of momentum towards a resolution.
It's great that everybody's understanding. Yeah. And it's great that Russia is not winning, and we have to push Putin to end this war.
G7 leaders will continue their meetings on Wednesday, but there are no plans for Trump and Carney to sit down together. But as we saw today, that doesn't mean they won't have important discussions, even if they're brief. Mike Couture, CTV News, near Evian, France.
A new survey finds many single Canadians are feeling the impact of higher food prices. The Internet survey found single Canadians spend roughly $102 a week on groceries. Meanwhile, couples who live together pay around $80 per person per week. The report found many single-person households can't find savings by buying in bulk and struggle to find single-portion meals. 32% of respondents say their food often goes bad before they can use it all. The Bank of Canada says grocery prices have risen roughly 22% since the year 2022. Now, this will take us to our question of the day. Have you stopped or reduced buying premium cuts of meat? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you think jet skis should be allowed on public beaches. Votes, 85% say no. Canada's main stock index drove further into record territory today. In Toronto, the TSX gained 114 points. In New York, the Dow added 329, the Nasdaq lost 308. The Canadian dollar was down 0.07 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $3 an ounce and oil fell more than $4 a barrel. Still ahead, how a groundbreaking new device gives a man with ALS something many thought he'd lost forever, his voice.
Our good friend Mark Hewer with another brilliant shot. Thanks for sharing. We appreciate it, Mark, as always. Send your weather snapshot. Text it to us at 10400. We'll talk thunderstorms next.
From moment to moment, things change. CTV News Windsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are the moment it happens. CTV News Windsor.ca.
Lovely outside earlier today. That active weather moved into the afternoon and into the evening. With more on this, Gary joins me for an extended look. Gary.
Just like yesterday, bright and early, things look bright and beautiful. Through the afternoon, midday, around 3 o'clock, as forecast yesterday, some rumbles of thunder, right? Got into some convective activity. As forecast, we knew temperatures would be in the mid-20s today. That's seasonal or average for this time of the year. So not much to speak of in terms of temperatures. And air quality is still in the green zone. That's good. But the clouds are menacing, and thunderstorms are still within the vicinity. So the big picture is scattered showers and thunderstorms with some warmer air cooling aloft into the thunderstorms, those clouds that have brought some intermittent showers. Temperatures are cooler to the north and east of us. Some of the windiness will continue this hour. We'll see gusts between 40 and, say, 50 within the next hour or so for Chatham-Kent. Windsor, those winds will start to diminish in the next couple of hours, but westerlies and southwesterlies, you can make out the spin of low pressure. Thunderstorms draped across the state of Wisconsin and Michigan, moving into southern Ontario proper. The worst of it's to the north of us, right across Lake Huron shores, but there's still some penetrating activity coming from the southwest along that cold front boundary as it does move from west to east. Between, say, now and 10, maybe 11 p.m., more active weather in the form of showers, gusty winds, and there's potential of significant thunder and lightning, of course. So we've seen it, we've heard it, and we'll continue to be dealing with it. The good news is we're not in any severe thunderstorm warnings just yet, but that could change between now and, say, 10 p.m., so just be on the lookout. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, some areas will see it, some will not, some will hear it, and some will not. Tomorrow, a bit of a break, 23, a bit cooler than seasonal, but comfortable. Mixture of sun and cloud. Thursday, Friday, still showers a good possibility. I think in the morning, if we see it at all, 24 degrees is the story for a daytime high for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, some showers. Fairer weather on Sunday up to 26, and then 26 followed by 23, cloudy and rainy. Monday and Tuesday of next week. Keep the umbrellas nearby as forecast. That's a look at your 7-day forecast courtesy of Intercare Siles.
New data from the Ontario Medical Association shows overcrowding at the province's emergency departments has reached critical or severe levels. Physicians who were surveyed say that overcrowding is impacting the availability of ER beds and treatment spaces at hospitals. 3/4 of people surveyed said they believe they begin their shifts with beds or treatment spaces already occupied by patients awaiting admission to hospital. A separate survey found that only 30% of Ontarians feel confident they would receive emergency treatment in a reasonable time. A man with ALS is speaking again thanks to a brain-computer interface developed by researchers in California.
Very sweet to have the ability to look at my wife's eyes when she hears my voice and conjures up a sweet memory. And to explain to my daughter, who does not really remember anything about when I was still talking to them, and remind them of what I used to sound like.
Incredible. 45-year-old Casey Harrell had electrodes implanted into his brain to translate brain signals into speech using a synthesized version of his own voice. In other news, the new data shows a drop in opioid-related deaths last year. That's good news, but the crisis isn't over. CTV's Abigail Beeman on why progress remains fragile.
Sorry, Angie, can you tell me? I've accidentally died.
Angie knows how terrifying a drug overdose is.
I had a little puff, and I immediately fell forward and passed out, stopped breathing, and went completely blue.
The Public Health Agency of Canada released new numbers showing opioid deaths dropped by 23% last year, with hospitalizations down 12%. But there were still more than 5,600 deaths in 2025, a staggering 15 people every day.
It is fragile. We've seen a decrease for 2 years in a row, but that follows many years of increases, and the number of overdose deaths are still higher than they were before the COVID pandemic.
Officials say one of the reasons for the drop is more access to naloxone.
There is no silver bullet to solve this crisis.
But death from benzodiazepines, benzos, are 3 times higher than before the pandemic, and naloxone doesn't work there. While some think closing safe injection sites like this one in Ottawa will make things worse.
It's going to be a lot worse than what it is now.
It's a darn shame, and there's going to be a lot more ambulances running around.
Then there's the tie to the trade war, with the American president using fentanyl as a tariff justification. It turns out the Canada Border Services Agency seized less fentanyl in 2025 than the year before, when we didn't have a fentanyl czar.
It's a slight decrease. From my perspective, the drug trade in this country is largely domestic production and for domestic consumption.
Kevin Brasso went to Washington today to bring this latest data and sell the message that Canada's measures are working. He says in general, his conversations with Americans are well received. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada has recently announced a plan to protect children from online harm. But British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is introducing rules that go even further.
Laws are rules, but they're also an expression of our values. They shape the social contract. And so this will change the conversations that parents have and the expectations of children over time. It will make a huge difference. It will make our children safer. It will make our children happier. And will give them more time, more security, more freedom to grow up.
Wide-ranging rules will ban social media use for anyone under the age of 16 and restrict gaming and live streaming platforms. Starmer's plan targets social media platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram, and gaming sites where strangers can communicate with kids. The changes go further than any country so far and could include overnight curfews and curbs on infinite scrolling for users under 18.
It's only 20 minutes till the show.
Tecumseh's Carson Janik is one step away from national stardom. Coming up, how fans can help him win. Imagine getting a call from your child in a moment of sheer desperation, pleading for help. Except the call isn't from your child at all. It's a scam that uses AI to deliberately pressure victims into handing over thousands of dollars. That's what happened to one man who spoke to CTV's Pat Foran.
Neil asked us to shield his identity, but he wanted to share what happened to him to warn others. About a week ago, he got a phone call from someone claiming to be his son.
My son said, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "Yes, it's Brian." He said, "That's right. I thought I was talking to him because it was his voice."
The caller said he had been in a serious car accident and was facing charges for talking on his phone while driving. A man who claimed to be his son's lawyer said he needed money or his son would spend the night in jail.
The lawyer said I needed to post bail of $6,000 to get Brian out of jail. An Uber driver arrived and I handed him the package with the $6,000 in it.
Neil says after he sent the bail money, he called his son the following day to check on him.
I happened to call Brian the next day and asked how the meeting with the lawyer went, and he said, "What lawyer?" And I said, "Well, what about the accident you were in?" He said, "What accident?" And then I realized that I had been scammed.
This is becoming a wildly popular way to scam.
Cybersecurity expert Jane Arnott says criminals now just need a small sample of a person's voice to clone it. They're then able to impersonate someone to sound just like them.
What they can do just by getting about 10 seconds of anyone's voice, they can recreate that voice to sound exactly like that person.
To avoid AI scams, don't post videos on social media, don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize, have a family safety phrase or code word. In an emergency, call family members directly, never send cash, and don't be rushed to make decisions. Neil regrets losing $6,000, but says in the moment, he really thought the caller was his son.
Well, I can tell you that now they have managed to simulate that voice, and you believe it's real.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A rising country music star from Tecumseh is one step closer to a national breakthrough. Carson Janik has been named one of 3 finalists in Country Rising 2026, a nationwide talent search. Janik, known for his blend of heartfelt storytelling and modern country pop sound, now advances to the fan voting round alongside finalists from Newfoundland and British Columbia. The winner will receive a $10,000 grand prize and a recording contract with Star Seed Entertainment. Fans can vote once per day through July 20th. The winner will be announced later this summer.
Oh, it's life-changing. It's something that's huge, and honestly, I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be involved with such a great group of talented people as well in the finalists.
A classic Shakespeare tragedy is getting a comedic twist this summer in Windsor. Cheer Up, Hamlet takes audiences on a musical parody adventure as the famously gloomy prince searches for happiness. Along the way, he meets familiar Shakespeare characters, including Romeo and Juliet, Lady Macbeth, and Ophelia, in a light-hearted mashup packed with songs and comedy. The outdoor production runs for 5 performances beginning July 3rd. Audience members can also make a dinner and a show experience, with meals available for purchase through the Fogelar Furlong Club before the performance. The Windsor Spitfires have released the 2026-27 regular season schedule. The Spits will kick off the campaign on Friday, September 18th in London to begin a home-and-home series with the rival Knights. The Windsor home opener is set for September 19th. The annual New Year's Eve game will be held December 31st against the Saginaw Spirit. Puck drops at 2:05. The final home game is March 21st at 4:05 against the Guelph Storm. Now it's almost time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Now, Melanie, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, there is a lot of fanfare over the Experience Windsor announcement today, but the question is, could we see something like this in the coming years? We have the answer still ahead.
Emmy Award-winning writer and the host of NBC's Late Night with Seth Meyers is coming to Windsor July 11th.
Enter at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Seth Meyers at Caesars Windsor plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. The tradition continues. Canada Day celebrations in Amherstburg. Bring the family and join us downtown for family fun all day long. See you next time on Our Community.
Melanie, you have more for us on that really cool series of events coming to Windsor this summer and the fall.
Yes, Stephanie. So Experience Windsor will give people even more things to do, all at no cost, from free movies to free golf and skating opportunities, just to name a few. The mayor says $500,000 initiative is being funded through a tourism reserve, using revenue collected through the municipal accommodation tax on hotel and other short-term stays, not property taxes. But Drew Dilkins says it could be difficult to bring back such a large-scale series every year.
A lot of the money's already allocated for future spending, like Peace Fountain as an example. We happen to have this money available. City Council considered it. It was unanimously supported by City Council. And it's things like the Pizza Fest as well, playing into supports for businesses for something that we know is kind of unique to Windsor. Not pizza, but good pizza.
We got more details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story online, Melanie, about something new at Marlborough Public School.
Yes, so the elementary school on Melbourne Road recently unveiled a Pride sidewalk. It leads to the entrance of the school and was a student-led initiative. According to the Greater Essex County District School Board, the project was developed by the school's Gender and Sexuality Alliance. The board says all labor was provided at no cost. And in our social spotlight, when you can't swim, you just have to roll with it.
I look exhausted, oh stiff and awkward on the outside of the moment.
So cool. Steve Mann uses his water spherical as physiotherapy after a back injury. And if you're in Toronto, you can watch him walking on water at HTO Park.
Yeah, really interesting. I don't know how he gets in or out of that thing. Obviously, he needs help from others. But yeah.
Or how does he breathe?
Yeah. Kind of looks like a struggle. I don't know. But good for him. And if that's how he helps repair his body and his muscles with physiotherapy, good for him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. Letters from the past. When we return, students reconnect with their younger selves. Like you said earlier, gorgeous in the morning. Beautiful.
Right? What a contrast. Because right now we're dealing with very thick clouds, some convective activity, gusty winds. Wind will also be a story for tomorrow. It could be very windy towards the afternoon, and we could be into another round of thunderstorms for Wednesday. So tonight, between now and say 10, 11 p.m., showers, thunderstorms, possibility, breezy conditions tomorrow. Sunny to start, a mixture of sun and cloud, and then showers in the afternoon, a windy afternoon. Gusts could be near 80, and then more showers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all have a chance of seeing rain. The average temperature, though, over the next 6-7 days is 25. That would be seasonal for this time of the year.
Okay, thank you, Gary. And active weather, Michelle, is the focus for tonight's 11 o'clock newscast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Northern Tornadoes Project is back in our neck of the woods investigating storms from last Friday. We'll have the results of their work tonight at 11. Plus, both big school boards are debating and talking about their budgets tonight. One of them includes teacher cuts, the other teacher increases. And the OGVG has a new report targeting politicians thinking about running in Kingsville and Chatham-Kent. So yes, Stephanie, definitely lots on the go tonight, and of course, a local weather look as well.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Finally, tonight, a group of students got a chance to do something most of us never do, meet their younger selves once again. As Lauren Stallone reports, it's part of a school project years in the making.
After years of waiting, grade 8 students at Stony Creek Public School finally get to hear from someone extra special, their past selves.
Thought, why not have them right now write a letter to themselves? And 8 years go by, and here we are today.
Their former teacher, Chris Harris, says he hoped the letters would give students an opportunity to see how much they've grown.
I think that's kind of crazy because, I'd never thought I'd actually get this back. So it's like, what do you know? It's kind of cool.
Eager to see what was inside, students spent the afternoon catching up with their younger selves and reminiscing about the past.
I wanted to be better at English because when I was in grade 1, I was new to Canada and I didn't know English much.
Some were relieved to know not much has changed.
I still like the same movies and stuff. Yeah. Shrek and the Grinch.
And for others, some questions have yet to be answered.
I also said I'm going to have 6 girlfriends in high school.
And is that true?
Yeah.
You think that's going to happen?
Definitely.
As for what the future holds, some students have their minds made up.
I'm probably going to go to the military to serve my country for a couple years and then retire.
I hope to be a judge or a lawyer. While others are making their financial advisors proud.
I want to get a career that I enjoy, but one that I can get money with. Be an electrician or something, because they make pretty good money.
Something that gives me a lot of money.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Hey, they're smart. Money is important. Yes, you have to find something that you love to do, but
6 girlfriends.
Hey,
So cute.
Please.
don't limit your options.
Yeah, I have not limited
So
options
adorable.
or anything.
It is. They had so much fun doing that.
Great story.
Okay, as we sign off tonight, a quick reminder, our 6 p.m. newscast on Wednesday will be preempted by World Cup coverage.
You will still be able to watch the 6 p.m. news tomorrow, but online at ctvnewswindsor.ca and, of course, on the CTV News app.
Good night, and thank you for watching. We'll see you at 11 tonight.